Building a business may feel like a big jump, but OnDeck Small Business Loans can help keep you afloat. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As a top-rated online small business lender, OnDeck's team of loan advisors can help you find the right business loan to fit your needs. Visit OnDeck.com for more information. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank. OnDeck does not lend in North Dakota. All loans and amounts subject to lender approval.
I love working out, but I used to spend over $140 a month on separate supplements. Then I discovered Harlow. Harlow is a 3-in-1 performance drink mix with electrolytes, collagen, and creatine. It helps me stay hydrated, perform better, and recover faster. Whether you're hitting the gym or just getting started, Harlow is the perfect pre- or post-workout drink. Try it for yourself at drinkharlow.com.
Happy 2025 to everybody. Christmas break for us is over. We've taken a couple weeks off, but we're back. Happy New Year to all of you, and Happy New Year to you, Margo.
Happy New Year.
To close your 2024, you got to go to a game, 49ers-Lions, which didn't mean much in terms of postseason relevance, didn't mean anything, but it meant a lot to you as a fan.
It was just fun. I mean, I think that, there were last day of school vibes for sure. Very, low stakes, no stakes. No one's this wasn't a make or break game for the Niners. It wasn't a make or break game for the Lions. And there was no punting that happened. I mean, it was fun to see just two offenses kind of go head to head.
Yeah, we both got to see our first no punt game. I don't think I had even seen that in college, covering college football. Wow. 49ers fans, though, some of you who really remember the 90s will remember the very first no punt game in NFL history was in 1992, where the Bills actually beat the 49ers at Candlestick. Jim Kelly against Steve Young in a game that featured over 1,000 combined yards of total offense and no punts. Ooh. I think since then there have been 6 or 7 no punt games, and this was maybe one of the 10, less than 10 in NFL history.
It
games
flew
that didn't feature
by.
A punt.
I mean, it just I can't remember the last time a game has just really gone that quickly.
So 2 things: you're not changing possessions as much, so you don't give the TV channel as much of a chance at commercials, right? Because every time you punt, that has to be there. But B, whenever you see a game that's that prolific offensively, I think it's just fun to watch, right? You just see big plays, big gains, loud cheers. Is that you think why it flew by for you watching it?
Yeah, I mean, it was constantly exciting. It wasn't, oh gosh, let's go 4 and out here and punt. And I mean, there was back and forth, but it was really exciting back and forth because it was almost coming off of a touchdown or a field goal attempt.
So the 49ers didn't have anything to play for. They had already been eliminated. They're 6-10. You get to see Josh Dobbs now play week 18. Yeah, it's week 18 now. They've added a week to this season. So they're going to put in a backup, their 3rd starting quarterback of the year, in Josh Dobbs against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. And then the season will mercifully come to an end for the 49ers. But you're Tennessean. Josh Dobbs played at Tennessee. I know you're an Auburn alum, so Tennessee wasn't necessarily the big fandom of yours, but I think you're kind of excited for this, to see Josh Dobbs take over the 49ers.
I think Josh Dobbs is totally underrated. I think he's way better than Brandon Allen. I know that I'm not, alone in that opinion and thought process, but he played for 2 minutes at the end of the Detroit Lions game earlier on Monday, and he just looked great. I mean, I think he's got a really great rapport with Jennings, which makes sense because they both played together at UT.
Big moments together.
Yeah,
too.
they had some really big plays together. So I think that they kind of have that telepathy that you see, for me, it seemed like Purdy and Pearsall really
had that
exemplified that on Monday. And I think it's going to be the Jennings-Dobbs show.
So
in
Jennings
Arizona.
is 77 yards short of a 1,000-yard receiving season.
Really?
So they're gonna try to
Wow.
get him the ball.
Yeah.
You can't force feed him, because if you force feed him, the defense is gonna be ready for it, and that's
Sure.
when interceptions happen. But I think they're definitely gonna create a game plan that tries to get Juwan Jennings open and get him the football.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing because this is such a tremendous year. It was all after you met him, Margo, at the football camp. But
Back in August.
this is
July,
the Juwan Jennings career line. First year, 282 yards. Second year in the league, 416 receiving yards. Third year, 265 yards. This year, 923.
I love it. I think it's great. And you have to ask the question, so does he have more yards this year because he's had to step up with other guys being out and injured? Probably a little bit, but I think he's also just kind of coming into his own and building a good rapport with the rest of the offense.
He is, and I mean, this year there was a lot of pressure on him because Brandon Ayuk, even when he was healthy, wasn't the same player as last season. So they needed more from Jennings. I think the first game you went to this year, Week 3, against the Rams, was a great example.
That was one of the biggest games he had, I think, all season.
It was the biggest game he had. It was the biggest receiving performance since Jerry Rice was around. 3 touchdowns. I think he went for 150 or so yards in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And he was playing the Z position because Deebo Samuel was out that week.
Was that when Deebo had pneumonia?
No, that was when Deebo had the oblique.
Oh, okay.
And then Deebo came down with a pneumonia when they played the Chiefs.
Deebo kind of came to life on Monday, too.
And he did we were both at the game in Miami. Remember he ran over 2 guys, a couple casuals?
Yeah.
It was a touchdown.
That's been the latest joke. It's like, you fly all the time and you're at the airport during the holidays and you're like, oh no, look at all the casuals who
all the
just
casuals.
don't know what they're doing.
Or people who think that Brock Purdy isn't a good quarterback. You're
Yeah.
casual. So that's where it comes from. You're a casual, or if you're, I don't know what you do at the airport to make you a casual. If you line up at Starbucks when there's 50 people in line and you're the 51st, I think you're a casual.
Yeah, but you get a pass if that's the only thing that's open for breakfast.
We
in
weren't the
Miami
50th
Airport.
person in line at the Fort Lauderdale airport. We were about the second or third in line. If that line had been 50 deep, you know me, I would not have been waiting.
Look, I just think it's really cruel to end breakfast in an airport at like 9:30.
That was ridiculous.
Was it 9:30 or like 10 a.m.?
It was 9:30. It was before 10 a.m.
And
this is the Fort Lauderdale airport after the 49ers play the Dolphins, for perspective.
And don't get me wrong, I would pick the Fort Lauderdale airport over the Miami airport.
Which is the worst terminal in America. The Southwest terminal at Miami, I think it's Terminal 7.
Is that just from a mood calculator based on how depressing of a space it is, or like food availability?
Yeah,
or
well,
what?
the ranking system in my head, it's like it has many different variables, but food is going to be huge.
Food's always
Ceiling
huge
height
for him.
is on there because the lower the ceilings in the airport, the more I feel like I'm stuck in 1966, and it could be really depressing. So that airport has nothing. That terminal has nothing when it comes to food. It has very low ceilings.
Which terminal are you talking about?
Southwest Miami.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Just to be clear.
Really, really, really bad. Then we went to Fort Lauderdale. Higher ceilings. Everything was great in terms of architecture. But every single breakfast place was not serving breakfast anymore by 9:31.
Which shocks me. I'm like, breakfast is kind of one of those meals that I feel like if you're smart, you can extend it to like
all day. There's
you can do
places
it
that made a
all
living
day.
off of doing it 24 hours. Yeah,
The
especially
Waffle
at an
House?
airport, though.
The Waffle House, yeah.
Okay, so we can have the Waffle House discussion now. I am not a fan. You are
but you
one of
grew
the
up.
biggest fans.
You grew up in California. Like, I don't feel like it's a way of life in the way that it is for some of us who grew up in the South.
In-N-Out's a way of life for me. I feel it's not very fair, though, like by me, in that you love In-N-Out, you love Waffle House, but it's not reciprocated.
You're
by
not
me.
a breakfast food person, though. Like you like
I'm literally
you're just a
touring breakfast sandwiches.
No, but like, see, that's the thing. You're a breakfast sandwich guy, which to me communicates you're really into lunch. But you get really ornery with me if I want to like make eggs for like lunch or dinner.
I love your breakfast bowls.
You do,
What do you
but
put in
only
those?
at breakfast time.
What's in like a?
The breakfast bowl?
Yeah.
The sweet potato bowls?
Yeah.
It's just roasted. So it's roasted sweet potatoes. Like kind of. So you peel the sweet potato, you slice it in cubes, olive oil, salt and pepper. You roast it in the oven. And then the contents of like, or I guess the toppings on that is pretty much whatever's in the fridge. It's like fair game.
Bacon and eggs, right?
Yeah,
Just
so
the
I
bacon
usually
on
will
it.
do bacon and eggs because if there's not bacon and eggs in our house, then the apocalypse has been going on for probably a month. Send help.
Which it did in 2020.
Which it did in 2020. But like if we have leftover steak, if we have leftover chicken, I always like have an onion. So we'll do sauteed or caramelized onions. We'll do some like creamed spinach on there because that just packs a ton of nutrients in. I've done like Brussels sprouts before, I think, on them as well.
I don't remember those.
Cheese.
But I
some
remember
green
little
onion.
bits of bacon in it, and I love the potatoes, and I think olive oil makes everything better.
Good olive oil.
So anyway, yeah, my point is I can't get that at Waffle House. I can't get something a tenth of how good you make something at Waffle House, which is why
So you're
I
turning
don't like Waffle
this
House.
around. You're turning this around from like, okay, I was an In-N-Out kid in California to like you were a Waffle House kid to, oh, but honey, your cooking is so good, which I appreciate and I commend you.
I'm not turning around. My point is quality is always the standard for me. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So you cook with quality, In-N-Out makes with quality, Waffle House doesn't.
Yes, they do.
Waffle House and
Yes,
quality.
they do.
All right, leave a
Okay.
comment if you agree or
here's the
disagree.
thing.
This is polarizing.
Here's the thing. Waffle House as a company is a good moral company. There are good Waffle Houses and there are bad Waffle Houses. Like the Brentwood Waffle House next to the Target on I-65, that is a good Waffle House. The Waffle House in Prattville on I-65, when you're on your way to the beach in Alabama, that is a good Waffle House. There are some,
As in, like, one of them is using grade D meat and one's using grade A meat?
no,
That's my concern.
I'm going to get you to some Waffle Houses during the off season, and I will take you to the good Waffle Houses, and you can tell me what you think.
You guys, it's going to be
Like,
hard to
there's a
stay in
difference.
shape, but
No,
we'll do our
it's not.
best.
You work out like twice a day; it'll be great. Carb load. You can get bacon.
We'll go
You can get omelets.
We'll go to Waffle House for the carb load. I've been once, and it was with Colton, who was the best man at my wedding. Like maybe I think the night before I got married. We
Really?
went to Waffle House. Yeah, I've told you this like 4 times, and every time you're like, "Really? You actually went to Waffle House?" Then you conveniently delete it.
No, I feel
from your
like
brain.
Colton went to Waffle House,
Yeah.
and you were just along for the
I
ride.
did watch him eat, yeah, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And it was at the allegedly good Waffle House. It was at the one that you were talking
The
about.
Brentwood one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Waffle House is a fascinating company.
Anyway, In-N-Out or Waffle House? Let's have people comment.
Oh, that's
not fair?
Totally different. Yeah.
What's the southern comparison, like the comp to In-N-Out? Like, what's the southern version?
I
of
don't know.
In-N-Out?
Probably Chick-fil-A.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Jesus is chicken.
Yeah, but to your credit, you like both. You like Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out. I think I'm a little selfish. I like Chick-fil-A, but I'm not much of a fried food person, except if it's fried cheese from my childhood.
Which is just.
I think I ate my
so
lifetime
silly.
quota in fried food when I was a little kid in the Czech Republic. So
Yep.
people that are listening in the Czech Republic know exactly what I'm talking about.
But we got to this roundabout here talking about casuals and then talking about Deebo Samuel running over some casuals in Miami.
Lorenzo,
But
where are you guys having drinks? You can also come to my place for a glass of wine and some Warriors game.
I will take the glass of wine in the apartment tour. I could live without the Warriors. But sure, sounds
Both.
fun.
All right, we're going to go to Lorenzo's in a bit. But first, we got to lead this conversation back to football. We're heading to Arizona this weekend. We
Yep.
take off Friday. Zach and Jen, shout out to them. They're going to take us to dinner at some place where the last time they were there, they're like, yeah, Michael Jordan was sitting at the table next to us. So I'm excited for that. It's supposedly really good.
We'll update next week whether or not we spot MJ.
Yeah, which would be cool. Steve Kerr, his teammate from the Bulls, we spotted him last week. We were over at Golden Gate Market,
Yeah.
but heading down to the Niners game, and like Steve Kerr, coach of the Warriors, speaking of them, steps behind us into line, and
You thought his friend was Tim Cook.
well, first, yeah, so there's just a line of dudes at Boys Deli and you.
And it's December 30th.
Oh, Golden Gate Deli, but that's the Boys Deli, same menu as Boys Deli. It's December 30th.
The dads are
waiting line.
itching to get out of the house.
Dads are itching to get out of the house, and I see a guy that looks like the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, who went to Auburn.
War Eagle.
We're bringing everything back full circle here. So I go, Margo, is that Tim Cook over there? And you're like, no, that's not Tim Cook. And then as you're looking at Tim Cook, I'm looking, or allegedly, Tim Cook. Allegedly. I was like, holy crap, his friend is Steve Kerr. And Steve Kerr's the coach of the Warriors. He had his dog with him, and he was just waiting in line.
Cute lab.
So then I asked Steve, don't you have a game tonight? And he's like, oh yeah, I have to head on over like right after this. I'm like, well, I have a game too, but he's lucky because they play in San Francisco, so he had a much shorter commute than us. It took us a while to get down to Santa Clara. We had to use the express lanes. Thankfully, Margo was with me, and thankfully DJ was in the car, and shout out to Steve. My trainer, Steve, went to the game as well.
Steve!
When you take those express lanes down 101, if you have more than 3 people in the car, they're free. And that's a good thing because it cost $19 on Monday night just to get from SFO to Ralston. So it probably was like $40 to take the express lanes the whole way.
Building a business may feel like a big jump, but OnDeck Small Business Loans can help keep you afloat. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As a top-rated online small business lender, OnDeck's team of loan advisors can help you find the right business loan to fit your needs. Visit OnDeck.com for more information. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank. OnDeck does not lend in North Dakota. All loans and amounts subject to lender approval.
Do you work out? You should be taking creatine. Creatine powers your muscles, boosts your brain, and supports recovery. Harlow combines creatine with electrolytes and collagen, all in one simple scoop. Get yours at drinkharlow.com. Drinkharlow.com.
I don't know how people do this every day.
Maybe it was Los Angeles when we were there a million years ago, but I feel like I remember seeing somebody driving in the express lane in LA, and they had like mannequins in the back of their car, or like like the little like human-sized skeletons. You know what I mean? Like the life-size skeletons that people have for Halloween decor.
No, people put mannequins in there. That was a big thing for decades in LA in the carpool lanes because it's so bad there. Now, though, these express lanes are more sophisticated in that now you pay as you go kind of thing. And I think that, well, I know that the technology exists. I don't know if these express lanes have the technology, but heat-seeking, like infrared imaging, can happen. And they could see if there are life forms in the car.
Yeah, is it a bunch of plastic bones or is it a mannequin?
And then you get a ticket not only for...
What if you had like a car full of animals? Like what if you had a back seat full of like dogs or goats or sheep?
So what I think happens in these situations, and it's the same thing as like speeding cameras that get you, like, it will trigger like, okay, this person might be violating it, either the speed limit or the high occupancy vehicle law. And then there's probably somebody in an office that gets that their only job all day is to go through the tickets that get forwarded to them. Mm-hmm. And he'll look at the actual imaging of the car, or he'll look at the video to see if it's speeding, and then they determine whether or not to actually give the speeding ticket, because the computer will make a mistake, right?
Sure.
So I think that's probably how it works. I've gotten a red light camera ticket before. I disputed it. I went to court.
When did that happen?
But right before I met you. I'm now a law-abiding citizen. It was in San Francisco. It was a really, really confusing left turn that I believe makes the city like $30 million in tickets every year. They have a camera.
That is $30 million in tickets is one red light.
Yeah, because my ticket was $600 or $700.
Oh,
and this thing just sits there printing money because I think they've made it less confusing over time. So this is 10 years ago. So I took it into the Hall of Justice. Like I literally had to go into court because I didn't want to pay a $600 or $700 ticket. And there was a lot of people for other tickets. I was the only one with that one particular ticket. And I get up and it's my turn in line in front of the judge. And it was really interesting. The judge goes, okay, you have two options here. You can plea bargain right now, and if you just accept responsibility, the ticket's $200. Or you can decide to fight this.
Is that because you showed up?
Yeah, because I showed up.
It's like
Or you could say, no, I plead not guilty or whatever you do for a traffic ticket, and I'll set another date in a month, and then we'll do this there. I literally, I was on the spot. So I just wanted advice. And I just go, do I have a chance to win? I mean, this is really, do you know what light I'm talking about? Do I have a chance to win? And the judge like looks around as if like we're being recorded, which we probably were.
Oh my God.
But this lady, very nice lady, she's like, technically, I'm not your counsel, so I can't speak, but you're not going to win. And so I think the judge broke the rule in that case. And I was like,
Maybe the judge was a Niner fan.
this is before my Niners years. This
Sure.
And I was like, okay, I understand your advice. I don't think she said it in as clear of terms, but it was like a wink, wink, like
Nudge, yeah.
don't be an idiot. Like, just pay the 200 and move on.
Move on with your life.
And it's really funny. That reminds me of the end of The Social Network, the movie with Mark Zuckerberg in it. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Where he gets in trouble for stealing the Facebook idea from the Winklevoss twins.
The Winklevoss twins.
And he gets slapped with a major settlement, right? And it was hundreds of millions of dollars, or at least $100 million. And his, he just doesn't want to pay it out of pride. But his attorney goes, Mark, this is a traffic ticket.
Pay the traffic ticket.
Pay the traffic ticket, move on. And how I wish that I could consider $100 million fine to be a traffic ticket.
Yeah, maybe you should go grab coffee with the Winklevoss twins.
For me, it's $200, and that was good. I escaped that, but
yeah.
Anyway, don't make that left turn. I think it's fell to Stanyon is where it happened. Panhandle. I think it's much more clear now, but back in the day, it was a trap for sure. All right, so this week, 49ers Cardinals, we're going to see Juwan Jennings, Josh Dobbs, a lot of 49ers not practicing this week. Probably, I would assume they're going to shut some guys down for the season. We'll see exactly how that finishes up.
That being said, do you think that this is going to be a really good, big game for a lot of the rookies?
I think so, because the rookies have had a big season.
Yeah, I mean, Garendo's had a big season. Mason's...
Not just Garendo.
No, but Pearsall.
Yeah, that's what I'm... Pearsall Pooney. Dominic Pooney's dad said Happy New Year's to you, by the way. We were talking to him the other day.
He's so sweet.
He texted me. And he does the hang loose sign. I love that guy. Yeah. So anyway, Pearsall, I mean, talk about a triumphant story. The guy got shot in the chest less than 4 months ago, and he had 160, 140 receiving yards the other day. Ish. To have that less than 4 months after getting shot in the chest as a rookie, that's a hell of a story. There are a lot of people that won't process that, and they'll just be like, "Oh, first round pick. Why didn't you do more in week 2?" To which I'll say, because he got shot in the chest and
the
week
couch
1.
Commandos.
But that is looking so promising for the 49ers entering next season. He's going to have a full off season under his belt, and knock on wood, he'll be healthy entering next year. And now he's got that confidence.
He made some bad mistakes against Miami.
Yeah, two penalties.
Yeah, 2 big penalties in the red. I think both were in the red zone, right?
Both in the red zone, formation penalties.
Yeah, I mean, it was very rookie mistake.
And but that's how you learn. And rookies typically don't play a lot under Shanahan. They haven't over the past few seasons.
Well, my point was that Miami was only 2 weeks ago, and then he plays like a rock star. On a week later.
Yeah, and the fact that the 49ers, were forced into playing a lot of these rookies that they weren't anticipating playing, but the injuries forced it to happen.
Yeah,
meant that they got the lumps out this year. You have to play to...
Right, there's a learning curve.
Yeah, these playbooks are encyclopedias.
There's a learning curve that you're really only going to overcome by getting game time under your belt.
To illustrate how complicated some of this stuff is, that they got to obviously know hundreds of plays and then variations of where to line up. And there's 3 different wide receiver positions. So if guys get hurt, you have to slide over into a different position. And that's a whole different set of nuances as to where you line up to make it legal. So Pearsall has to learn this whole encyclopedia, and then you have to execute it in the heat of the moment with the crowd screaming in a big spot. And that's why rookies tend to make mistakes, because it's not hard to make a mistake in the NFL. So the only way to master some of this stuff is by doing it. But a really, really good team doesn't have the need to put rookies in there because they've got veterans who know how to do this stuff. And then they don't have the desire to put rookies in because they don't want the rookies to screw things up. If you're 14-2, like the Lions and the Vikings, you're not going to want to put too many rookies in there.
Yeah, the risk is greater.
Yeah, the risk is greater. So what happened this year for the 49ers, it's almost like a silver lining is, yeah, they're 6-10. Yeah, there were a lot of injuries. But this entire rookie class, starting with Pearsall, got some really valuable experience. They got the mess up where it wouldn't really hurt the 49ers, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, like low stakes game on Monday, but like low stakes season as far as, not looking great with a lot of your stars out. And so, how much stronger is I don't say your rookie class, but like how much stronger is that group of guys, going into this 2025 season?
Yes.
And we may not even actually, the team probably won't actually see the benefits of that until that season actually gets going.
That's so exciting too for next season.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm excited. Okay, like who are you most excited to see? Like the rookies this year, who do you think are going to be absolute all-stars in 2025?
So I think Pearsall is going to be really good. I think that what we saw skill set wise this season, especially there toward the end, we saw that one-handed catch against the Lions. Just the way
that gave me chills. It was so cool.
Yeah, just the way that he moves has first-round pick written all over him.
He's kind of like lanky. Like he's not super super tall, but he's not super super wide. Like he's not like a Kittle. I mean, Kittle's just kind of huge, right? Debo kind of looks like a boulder. Ricky looks a little. I mean, he just looks a little unassuming.
Slick Rick. Slick Rick.
Did you just come up with that on the spot?
No, that's what they've called him for years, and he's tougher. Here's a picture of all the guys in the draft class. He's the Florida guy at the front.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at his height and weight and says, 190 pounds. He's a little too skinny. He's not going to be strong enough. But all of his game tape from Florida, Arizona State before that, and now the game tape that we've seen in the NFL shows that he plays stronger than his weight. But the fact that he's lighter means he moves better.
Sure,
right?
He's fast.
So he's got that combination that only first-round picks do have. They have the speed and the movement and the strength combination that you have. That's special when you have both of those things going on at once. So
yeah.
I think he's going to be really good because then there's the football ability, but beyond the football ability, there's the attitude and the perseverance that he showed. Again, he got shot in the chest less than 4 months ago. The fact that he was able to overcome that and all the adversity, other injuries that he had to deliver what he did against the Lions, it's a great sign. They have Renardo Green, who's now starting for them at cornerback, Arrow moving up on him. Dominic Pooney was the third-round pick. He's been starting since day one.
Yeah,
that's great. Malik Mustafa, I don't know if you saw Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Lions all-pro receiver, went on a podcast the other day and said that number 6 on the 49ers was the hardest hitting safety it faced all year. And that's a rookie, 4th-round pick. Mustafa. Isaac Guerendo, I thought looked really good.
Huge. I mean,
key for him is going to be learning how to stay healthy. And a lot of rookies.
What does that mean? Like, learn how to stay healthy, okay? Like,
some of it is luck.
Is that actually advice?
It is actually a thing. John Lynch talked about it. John Lynch missed a lot of time early in his career, and he talked about it's a way that you handle your business, from diet to sleep to conditioning, and learning the different exercises that will strengthen your vulnerable spots. So some guys may have ankles that are more susceptible to injury.
I hesitate to say boring, but just like it's the everyday stuff.
It's about being a professional 365 days of the year. So Guerendo's had a lot of hamstring issues through college and then now this year with the 49ers. He's going to have to go figure out, how do I exercise, work out to keep my hamstring in best shape possible so I'm not suffering hamstring injuries. And a lot of rookies have that kind of issue because it's just a different beast. The game is more physical, it's faster at this level, but it's also a longer season. When guys are used to wrapping things up after 12 games in college, they still have, even if they don't go to the playoffs, they still have 5-6 games left in the NFL season. They have over a month to go. So if your body is already running out of gas in week 12, what's that last month going to be like? Yeah, so learning how to be a pro is really important. But I think the Guarendos put a lot of really impressive stuff on tape. Speaking of last day of school vibes, you're going to love this. I was in the locker room today. Jacob Cowing is their speedy receiver. You were at that game against the Chiefs. At the end of the game, he caught a 46-yard bomb from Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
It was into the shady side of the field over there. He hadn't played much, but he's really fast, and he's the punt returner. I mean, he has played, but he hasn't played much on offense. He's the guy who returns all the punts. Trent Taylor, who is a veteran receiver on the team, I don't know if he got it for both rookies or for all of his receiver teammates, but he got a printed out, framed picture of Jacob Cowing catching that 46-yarder against the Chiefs, where everything is black and white in the photo except for Jacob Cowing. He's in that part is color.
Very artistic.
And it was sitting by Cowing's locker, and I guess it lights up too. It had like a little plug where it lights up in the wall.
Like a backlight?
Yeah, it wasn't plugged in, but he was showing me that it plugs in.
Okay.
I was like, who gave this to you? He's like, oh, Trent Taylor gave it to me. And what these guys do is that they give each other gifts at the end of the season. Like, I thought it was really cool. Like, you'll give a guy in your position room a cool framed photo of him, and then you'll sign it. Like, and then Jacob Cowing could go on and have a 12-year career. And then when in his man cave, when he's pointing things out 30 years from now, he'll be like, oh, look, my teammate, my rookie year, Trent Taylor, veteran guy, gave me this at the end of the year. Isn't that neat?
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's heartwarming.
Yeah.
Kind of like, again, end of the year, last day of school.
Yeah, it gives those
gifts.
kind of vibes.
Yeah.
A lot of rookies, and I've seen even veterans do this, will take their helmet at the end of the locker clean out day.
Yeah.
And they'll walk around and they'll ask all their teammates to sign it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And this
way
year,
better than a yearbook.
you know what? Locker clean out day is not going to be as depressing as it has been over the past few years this year, because the team has been eliminated.
Building a business may feel like a big jump, but OnDeck Small Business Loans can help keep you afloat. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As a top-rated online small business lender, OnDeck's team of loan advisors can help you find the right business loan to fit your needs. Visit OnDeck.com for more information. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank. OnDeck does not lend in North Dakota. All loans and amounts subject to lender approval.
Ready to crush your workout or just get moving again? You need 3 essentials: electrolytes to hydrate, collagen for strong joints and healthy skin, and creatine for muscle power and brain fuel. That's where Harlow comes in. It's your all-in-one performance mix packed with electrolytes, collagen, and creatine. Everything your body needs, none of the sugar. Hydrate, recover, and push harder with Harlow. Grab yours now at drinkharlow.com. That's drinkharlow.com.
Been for weeks now at this point, right?
Sure.
In
so
21,
there's longer
22,
to process, like the end is here and you're not necessarily going to be on the championship.
It had literally come the
stand
day
at the end of the
after or 2 days after devastating losses in the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl the past 3 years.
Right.
So Ayuk was crying last year. Everybody
Christian
was
mute.
Yeah, everybody was like in these, just talking in these murmured tones because they were still hurting from the loss.
Sure.
Nobody's
Super
hurting
emotional.
this year. Like, it was a bad year. You know, I know some fans are still probably hurting, but people are moving on with their lives. They realize that sometimes it's not your turn in life, and they're excited for next year. So it's going to be more like this last day of school, true last day of school vibe, instead of this depression that we've seen over the
Right.
past few
Of
years.
like you just got pushed off a cliff and now you've hit the bottom.
Yeah, that happened gradually this year. That happened so that the pain actually was stretched out.
Is that better or worse?
Well,
Like, if you know you're not going to win the Super Bowl, would you rather still go to the Super Bowl and, you know, live those crazy highs week to week and have the depressing end? Or is there something kind about the slow, you know, the slowing down of the season?
I'm a competitor, and I know that everybody in that locker room is a competitor too. They would take the rip your heart out defeat every single time.
The gut-wrenching defeat, yeah.
Because if it means that you're competing for longer,
that's what they want to do.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
And plus, the way to that Super Bowl, the only way you get there is with some truly exhilarating victories. And
sure.
I don't think that anybody...
And that's like what's so fun about the sport.
Sports, yeah. Online trolls will act like they don't matter, but don't tell that to the 12-year-old kid who was going to his first 49ers game, who was at the NFC Championship last year. That kid's never going to forget that game. That's a moment, right? It doesn't matter what happened in the Super Bowl after. People made of course it matters in the terms of does this team get a trophy or not, but that memory is not going to go away for people. And that was a great game.
Yeah, I mean, that NFC Championship last year was probably like the most fun. I mean, it was the most fun Niners game I've ever been to.
Also, if you're focused only on the very final game of the season, and if you think that the season is a failure because a team lost the very final game being the Super Bowl, you're going to be the most miserable curmudgeon in all of your life, because the truth of the matter is that 1 out of 32 teams wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's
so if
just
you believe
like
that only
mathematically so hard.
1/32 of the league should be happy every year, it's a very low percentage of people that are satisfied and happy.
Yeah, I mean,
So
like even, and I feel like I've, broken record a little bit, but like, I'd rather be affiliated with the Niners than like the Panthers or the Bears. I mean, you want to like look at some other franchises out there really struggling, like they're out there. And it's just going to continue to be really hard for them.
Absolutely. Let's look at this weekend.
Okay.
And then we could wrap this up. We will be in Arizona. We'll have fun watching Josh Dobbs and company.
Hopefully avoiding any winter storms.
Knock on wood. Never say never. But they're going to be, I mean, this game between the Lions and the Vikings, I cannot wait. Oh, yes, it's the Sunday night game. They flexed it to Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
So that way it's not happening during our game.
Oh, okay. So you're excited because it means we get to watch it.
I'm gonna finish working Vikings Lions, and I'm gonna finish working 49ers Cardinals, and then we're gonna go find a spot and have dinner, and we'll get to watch the 14-2 Vikings and the 14-2 Lions in a game with tremendously high stakes.
Super fun.
For the number 1 seed in the NFC. So it's going to be epic. The team that wins will be 15-2. They're going to have a bye. They don't have to go on the road in the postseason. I mean, and then the team that loses will be the 5 seed.
Wait, okay, yeah. But so if the Lions win, they get the 1 seed.
And if the Vikings win, they get the 1 seed.
And if the Vikings win, they get the 1 seed. What happens to the Eagles?
The Eagles are going to be the 2 seed because they've already won. Yeah. So to get one of the first 4 seeds, you have to win your division. There's 4 divisions, right? So the Eagles
and this is the final divisional match then.
Yeah. The problem is the NFC North is so damn strong, which we've talked about, that
point differential.
Yeah, the point differentials are all crazy. But then the win streaks too. I mean, the Vikings have won 9 in a row. You remember 9 games ago when it was really tight at the top? Even the Bears had a good differential. The Bears have lost 10 in a row now.
10 in a row?
Ever since
10 in a row?
Remember that game against the
Commanders
where the Bears guy was celebrating before the play, taunting the crowd?
He was taunting the crowd, yes.
They have not won since then.
Oh, it sounds like a new Chicago curse.
Yeah, the Billy Goat curse.
The Billy Goat? Who names these curses?
That's the original Chicago curse.
Why is it called the Billy Goat curse?
Well, it's no longer a curse because it was broken when the Cubs won and beat the Indians in 2016.
That's a different sport, though. Now you're doing baseball.
Yeah, but you were talking about a Chicago curse. The Bears have never had a curse on them. The Cubs, though, curse of the Billy Goat. You want to know?
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Was a sports curse that was supposedly placed on the Chicago Cubs Major League Baseball franchise in 1945 by Billy Goat Tavern owner William Cianis. The curse lasted 71 years. During Game 4 of the 1945 World Series at Wrigley Field, Cianis' pet goat named Murphy was bothering other fans, and so the pair were asked to leave the stadium. Outraged, Cianis allegedly declared, "Them Cubs, they ain't gonna win no more," which had been interpreted to mean that the Cubs would never win another National League pennant, at least for the remainder of Cianis' life. The Cubs then lost the 1945 World Series to Detroit and did not win a pennant or World Series championship again until 2016.
When did the dude pass?
Here, the next sentence might partially answer that. After the incident with Cianis and Murphy, the Cubs did not play in the World Series for the next 71 years until on the, oh my gosh. Holy crap. No, okay, wait, listen to this. Okay, after the incident with Cianis and Murphy, the Cubs did not play in the World Series for the next 71 years until on the 46th anniversary of William Cianis' death. The curse was broken when they defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-0 in Game 6 of the 2016 National League Championship Series to win the National League pennant.
Creepy.
So they won on, not when he died, but
It
on
was
the 46th
40th
anniversary.
46th anniversary of his death.
Of his death.
Wow.
The Cubs then defeated the AL champion Cleveland Indians 8-7 in 10 innings in Game 7 to win the World Series, which you have a story
Wait,
about.
back up. We're talking about this guy who had a billy goat at a game, and the goat was a nuisance at the game?
Yeah. No wonder.
What, is this made up? Like,
no, this is the curse of the billy goat.
so does he have to buy a ticket for his goat, or is it like a service animal?
Well, this was in 1945.
It was at the game, right?
Yeah, it was placed on the franchise in 1945.
What other farm animals were attending Cubs games?
At Wrigley Field, yeah.
I have a lot more questions that revolve around farm animals than I do the actual curse itself.
Look at the Wikipedia article. It is robust.
Very robust. Okay, so you think that maybe this is the new curse? The Chicago sports team.
You think it is?
I think it is, but you're the one who's talking about billy goats over here.
Well, because you said another Chicago sports curse, and the original Chicago sports curse is billy goat.
But it only impacted the Cubs. It did not impact the Bears, right? Because weren't the Chicago Bears good in the 80s? I'm thinking of the fridge.
The Super Bowl shuffle on the fridge.
Yeah,
The 85 Bears are known as one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl shuffle Bears. So they ran the league that year. The 49ers won at 84. The Bears won at 85. The New York Giants won at 86. That was like the three powerhouses back to back to back.
49ers, Giants, and at Giants in 2025.
Yes. Yeah, although it's not the same Giants as the Bill Parcells Giants that ran the league back then. The reason the Niners get to play the Giants next year is because they both finished in last place schedule.
So let's talk about the schedule for 2025 real fast, because I think it's kind of, I mean, I'm hopeful. I know that, not every single team is going to perform the same this year that they did last year, 49ers being a great example. But you look at, kind of the other, you explained it to me like weeks and weeks ago. The 49ers had to play the NFC North. There's like a rotation that happens. Can you explain that? And then part A, explain that. And then part B, can you explain like what the rotation is for 25?
You play a different NFC division and a different AFC division every year. So the 49ers this year played the AFC East.
Which was the Bucks.
No. The AFC East was the New York Jets, the New England Patriots, Bills. And the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
So you play each division every 4 years, if that makes sense.
Okay.
That's the only way that you play another AFC team, generally, except you also play the 17th game now, so that's one other way. But generally, you only play other AFC teams if they're the division that you happen to hit that year. Okay. Next year, the 49ers play the AFC South, which means they play Tennessee.
In Levi's Stadium.
Jacksonville at Levi's Stadium.
And the Panthers.
Yeah. And the Texans.
Pretty fearsome division. Ugh.
The Texans are at Houston, unfortunately, because I don't really feel like going to Houston, but we'll be headed to Houston. Anyway, so they play the AFC South next season. The NFC, they play the last place finishers from all the other divisions. So that's why the New York Giants are on the schedule for the 49ers.
LOL.
For example, the first place scheduled teams, you look at the Giants finished last in the AFC East. The Eagles finished first. That means the Rams have to play the Eagles next year because the Rams finished first.
Yeah.
They play the first place teams to the other divisions. The 49ers, meanwhile, get to play it's the last place schedule for the 49ers. So that's how it's going to work. I'm
just saying, like, long-term goals, man. Think about it, multi-year. If you're going to be good next year. If you're going to
suck, then you should really suck.
Yeah, if you're going to suck, like, I don't know.
Be bad. Don't be
really
mediocre.
Awful.
Yeah. Don't be mediocre.
Be so terrible that you have to wear a bag over your head.
Yep. That it sets it up for the next season. Anyway, we'll go really quickly through this, and then we'll get going. we don't have the exact dates of these games, but we know the opponents. Obviously, the NFC West, I'll skip over that. At Houston, at Indianapolis for the 49ers. Bleh.
Bleh. Are we bleh?
Bleh.
The Colts or bleh Indianapolis?
At New Orleans. That's fun. We'll go back to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
At Tampa Bay. They don't have the full schedule yet on FB schedules.
Yeah.
That's
I
on
thought it was
yeah.
at New York Giants, which is technically at New Jersey because
49ers 2025. Yeah, New York Giants are one of them. Here,
but it's in New York, New Jersey.
Here it is.
It's away.
I got it right now. This is
Okay.
better. So at New York Giants, at New Orleans, at Tampa Bay, at Indy, at Houston, at Cleveland, because Cleveland struggled to finish this season.
Maybe we'll get a snow game. Watch
Maybe, depends
Jameis
when it's
Winston
at.
make snow angels.
At Seattle, and then obviously at LA, at Arizona. Coming to Levi's, Tennessee, Chicago, last place finisher. Jacksonville, Carolina, last place finisher.
Yep.
Atlanta, Seattle, Rams, and Cardinals division.
So it's interesting, like all of the AFC South teams that, with the exception of Houston, are going to be home games.
Yes.
So it's not, that's going to be kind of a rest advantage.
It should be because those teams are coming from further away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like maybe...
The Niners don't have to make that trip.
Well, let's see here. As a West Coast, every year consistently, Seattle and San Francisco fly the most out of any team just because of the location.
Sure.
And it still looks like there are quite a few long trips. There is Cleveland, which is Eastern time zone, Houston, which is Central time zone, Indy is Eastern, New Orleans Central, New York Eastern, Tampa Bay Eastern. So you're still having to make long flights. These guys travel in relative comfort, though. They have a big United plane that has extra first class seats.
Duh.
So
well, they're all so big.
Every player on the 53-man roster gets like a United Polaris seat.
Oh, cool.
And then the staff and everybody else is sitting in the economy seats.
That's funny. I don't know why that's funny.
Not the coaching staff. The coaching staff also gets nice seats, but
I don't know. Some of them may need to be sitting in economy.
And on that note,
well, nope. You have to talk about who do you think
the Super Bowl,
who's your Super Bowl
Bills,
matchup today?
Eagles.
He's still Bills, Eagles. He just wants to do a story on the North Star.
That's a teaser.
That is a teaser.
What's your Super Bowl?
I'm still gonna go with Lions Bills. It's gonna be the epic match of underdogs.
Lions, Bills. Yeah, you got to see the Lions play the other day. I just think they need to have better defense. And maybe they'll get guys back. Maybe some of those injuries will be rectified, but they did not play a good defense, the defensive game against the 49ers.
Well, the 49ers defense also didn't play a good defensive game
Well,
either.
there's a reason why the 49ers are 6-10, though. They don't have to play these playoff teams. The Lions will.
Yeah, they're not on their fifth running back.
The Lions have actually, they've given up 333 points this year, which is, the Niners are going to have 389. The Lions, most of that allowance, I feel, has come over the past 4 weeks, so they would catch up pretty damn quickly. All right, Margo, it was fun.
It was fun. We'll catch you next week.
We'll catch you next week. We're going to get into playoff mode very, very soon. See you shortly on the Lombardi Lounge.
Bye.
Building a business may feel like a big jump, but OnDeck Small Business Loans can help keep you afloat. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As a top-rated online small business lender, OnDeck's team of loan advisors can help you find the right business loan to fit your needs. Visit OnDeck.com for more information. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank. OnDeck does not lend in North Dakota. All loans and amounts subject to lender approval.
I love working out, but I used to spend over $140 a month on separate supplements. Then I discovered Harlow. Harlow is a 3-in-1 performance drink mix with electrolytes, collagen, and creatine. It helps me stay hydrated, perform better, and recover faster. Whether you're hitting the gym or just getting started, Harlow is the perfect pre- or post-workout drink. Try it for yourself at drinkharlow.com.